Let's get into it. What a week. On Sunday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis finally sort of halfway acknowledged that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election by saying Joe Biden's the president.
Of course he lost.
Trump lost the 2020 election.
Of course.
Okay.
Joe Biden's the president.
Ron DeSantis, welcome to De Resistance. So he's admitting Trump lost while leaving room to claim that he lost because the election was stolen, trying to have his pudding and eat it with 3 fingers, too. Said DeSantis, whoever puts their hand on the Bible on January 20 every 4 years is the winner. This is what courage looks like, giving the most legalistic possible answer to a yes or no question. Did you commit the murders? Well, I wasn't convicted. Not what I asked. Meanwhile, DeSantis has replaced his campaign manager in the latest phase of his campaign shakeup. It's the old ship of Theseus paradox. If you gradually replace all the parts of a ship one at a time, is it going to get instantly destroyed when Trump calls you a gay nerd? But are you the same gay nerd? Glistening with sweat, Donald Trump complained extensively about the heat during a campaign stop in New Hampshire.
And by the way, I want to say officially for the press, it's about 110 degrees in this room. Nice job with the air conditioning, whoever. But you know what the press will say? You know what they'll say? Trump didn't look well. He was extremely wet.
It's a shame there's not another Trump who could give this Trump one of his devastating Trump nicknames. Could you imagine? This would be the last we'd ever hear of Wet Donald. Special counsel Jack Smith asked for a protective order to stop Trump from sharing evidence publicly in the January 6th criminal case after Trump wrote on Truth Social, "If you go after me, I'm coming after you." It seems like Smith kind of jumped to conclusions. That could have been a threat against witnesses in any of Trump's criminal trials. Meanwhile, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis is reportedly expected to ask a grand jury to return Donald Trump's next round of indictments as soon as Tuesday. We don't have a show next week, so let me just get ahead of this. Trump now has more indictments than wives, which reminds me, it's time to crack open Ivana's golf course grave. Whatever's in there, it's indictment number 5. What's in there? Bones, brooches, and what? Rudy Giuliani has put his Upper East Side apartment up for sale for $6.5 million. Giuliani explained, "This is too much space for me. I'm going to be... This is too much space for me. I'm going to be perfectly happy living inside the walls." I love that one, just picturing him back there. "Gotta pay the lawyers somehow," said the former mayor of New York, moving into his new spot where he asks travelers these riddles 3 before they're allowed to cross the George Washington Bridge. Personally, that old Giuliani place gives me the creeps. Some say, on quiet nights, when you listen very closely, you can still hear him railing his cousins. I love it. The listing notes that the 3-bedroom unit, by the way, we're doing a full 5 minutes on Giuliani listing an apartment. We haven't mentioned Ukraine in 3 months. Week in review, they call it. The listing notes that the 3-bedroom unit has an abundance of sunshine, high ceilings, and beautiful hardwood floors. The floors are coated in a strange sheen, continued the listing, almost like a thin slime. And when we tried to clean it off, the slime kind of grabbed the mops and used them as bats. But then when you try to hit the slime, it goes liquid again. Anyway, we recommend embracing the slime, a charming feature that your children will love. Slime grabs the bat. 90-year-old Senator Diane Feinstein was briefly hospitalized again after a fall this week and has since been discharged and returned home. "You should see the other guy," quipped Feinstein to one of the vultures circling above the Senate. I apologize if this sounds ageist, but enough is enough. They have to take her skateboard away. Anyway, Feinstein immediately returned to her office and the people's business, holding a stapler to her ear and asking the operator for Butterfield 8. President Biden on Tuesday designated a new national monument near the Grand Canyon, which will protect lands that are sacred to native tribes in the area. The event went pretty smoothly until Diane Feinstein fell into the canyon. In a 5-4 vote, the Supreme Court ruled to temporarily allow the Biden administration to enforce regulations on ghost guns. Said the guns in response to the verdict, boo! It could be louder out there. There's a note on the sound, Stephen. It could be louder out here, by the way. It was given in a passive-aggressive fashion. All right. How's the volume now? Better? Stephen, what do you do on that computer over there? Is it just, I'm just kidding. I love you. I love you. I love you. Speaking of the Supreme Court, the New York Times reported that Clarence Thomas received a loan from a healthcare executive in order to pay for his $267,000 RV, adding it to the list of elaborate gifts and trips the Supreme Court justice has accepted from wealthy benefactors. At this point, kudos to Clarence Thomas. It's got to take a real fucking mastermind to turn a position on the Supreme Court into an endless episode of My Super Sweet 16. Then on Thursday, ProPublica published a report about other billionaires from whom Clarence Thomas has accepted lavish gifts and 38 destination vacations, including an oil exec named Paul Tony Novelli. Clarence Thomas insists there was no conflicts of interest since he was equally prepared to accept lavish gifts from endangered wildlife. Novelli joins other wealthy donors who have courted Thomas, like David Socko, H. Wayne Huizenga, and of course Harlan Crow. However, only Crow's name appears in the Supreme Court justice's disclosure documents. When reached for comment, said Crow, "You're in his DMs, I'm in his disclosure documents. We are not the same." Wayne Brady came out as pansexual in a Monday Instagram post. Makes sense, pansexuality is the yes and of sexual orientations. Now, somebody shout a gender expression and a location. Did I hear non-binary and the butt? Now, I have a $20 bet with Hallie Kiefer that joke will work. Did it? Hell yeah. Because you'd think it'd be something like Italian restaurant, but no, it's the butt. And I said it's great, because I wrote it this morning. And Hallie said it sucks. And then Sarah Lazarus said, "You're both too passionate. It's just okay." Can we turn the volume down? They're hearing some of these jokes too clearly. A 64-year-old Silby, Texas woman was riding in a lawnmower on her property when she was attacked by both a snake and a hawk that was trying to eat the snake. "This wasn't how it was supposed to go down," said the couple that organized the gender reveal. Snake was supposed to mean boy, and hawk was supposed to mean girl. Anyway, the woman died. She didn't die. Dunkin' Donuts unveiled a new horror this week, their new line of spiked iced coffees, including original mocha, caramel, and vanilla. So exciting. 4 new shades of barf for Boston's cobblestones. They might as well just quarantine Boston now. It's going to be 28 days later over there, except everyone's trying to smash their way into illegal seafood to use the bathroom. And before we go, DJ Casper, the man behind the wedding and graduation party staple, the Cha-Cha Slide, passed away at the age of 58 earlier this week. Tonight, we memorialize him and his work, which will live on in our hearts.
One hop this time. One hop this time. Right foot, 2 stumps. Left foot, 2 stumps. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Freeze! Cha-cha real smooth. Turn it out.
Malcolm, Brian, Davis, Hallie, everybody.